I'd never seen a market like this. You could buy almost anything. But Bourbon owed money to the Hansa sentries and was anxious to leave.
Can we just appreciate this music for a second? I mean, just listen to that. Isn't it just awesome? I could get into this. Welcome back, people! It is me, MegaMuffin37. I had hoped to bring Squids along for this episode and maybe the next, but unfortunately he does have a lot of work to do, so we are gonna have to settle with just me this time. I was sick for last week, which is why I didn't have anything recorded, because my voice was hoarse and just and I just felt like shit. But now I am back, and this is the market. In the last episode, we had that there is more to him than meets the eye. And now we're here in the market, and we are anxious to leave because of his debts. Let's continue.
Holster your weapons at once.
Excuse me if I'm stuffy.
Where are you? Come into the light. Slowly, slowly. I'll be damned. Bourbon. Hey guys, we'd better search these two. So, you all drunk. What are you carrying this time around? Who's the boy?
Did you just assume my gender?
I'm sure we can work this out.
But you were right.
Sure? Let's go and chat a little. And you keep an eye on this one, huh?
He was talking about keeping an eye on me. Nice clipping.
Don't move! Stand still, I'm talking to you!
What are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? I'm not standing still. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I'll talk.
Okay, these two may pass. Welcome to the market.
I really wish I could say the market like that.
Would you like to enjoy their company a little more?
No, I'm good. They're softies anyway. Okay, note number 1 of the market. I can't say it. Yes, I'd never get here without Bourbon. He's at home everywhere and he knows everyone. Sure, as I suspected, the locals did have some old gripes with him, but looks like Bourbon sorted it out, which is hardly surprising since Prospect Mira belongs to Hansa, a trading union of the Circle Line stations, the richest of the Metro states. The citizens of Hansa, their wealth ensured through trade with other states and free stations, understandably value profit above anything. I think Bourbon had betrayed their trust before, and now he surely had to promise he'd pay them back with interest. Only problem is that there's a saying, better to be indebted to the devil than to Hansa. He's going to have one tough time paying them back.
Hey, what's your tone?
Okay. Money.
We're in deep shit. No way I can pay back those railcar guys. We'll be lucky if they let us shovel shit for the rest of our days.
When I saw it years ago, there were charred bodies. Inside, some still seething. It was a nightmare. The terrain is difficult to traverse. You can't go around it since the tunnel roof is giving in, and all the space between the carriages and tunnel walls is completely filled with soil.
Sounds like that sucks.
Something weird going on inside that terrain. I'm a rational person.
Yes.
I don't buy all that mystical nonsense. So I thought it was rats and the like, you know? But I'm not so sure.
Just little itty bits of conversation like this.
What's up?
Nothing, I was just listening to what he was saying. It was an interesting story. Little bits like that bring life to Metro.
We can't go to Hansa. Look. Oh, here's some cartridges. Go get a couple filters, will ya? I have an idea.
Thanks.
I'll go have a talk with a certain someone. We could either meet at the local bar or I can find you elsewhere. Well, off you go. You have around 5 minutes.
Okay. He says we have 5 minutes, but we have more time than that. The shitter. Okay, now around here you can find some cartridges like that hidden in this train car. You don't lose any moral points for taking cartridges that are just lying around. There's another one. I don't know why they're just around, but they are. They're just like little 1-bit cartridges. And and free for the taking. You know, why not? And I think Bourbon only gave us maybe 20 cartridges.
Anyone reads me, respond. It's Moscow, Market Underground Station.
Trying to...
From a surviving tank. They were off-base on maneuvers when it all happened. Those tanks were shielded against radiation, so these guys headed east from Moscow. They barreled through the burning villages, picked some women up along the way, and just kept going, refueling when they could. Finally, in the middle of nowhere, they ran out of gas. You know? Since there were no strategic targets that far out, the radiation wasn't nearly as high as in the cities. So, they dug their tank in like a pillbox and then put up some tents. They had a solar generator, plenty of ammo, and they settled around the tank for good. I spoke with them by radio every night for almost 2 years. At first, they did okay. I planted crops. 2 of them had almost normal kids. Well, they saw lots of weird critters out there that their lieutenant didn't know how to describe. Then one night, they went off the air. Never heard from him again. I guess the generator gave up the ghost, or I don't know, maybe they just ran out of ammo. Yeah.
See, little
Anyone reads me, respond. It's Moscow.
little
Market
stories like
Underground
that really bring the Metro to life, you know? I mean, that didn't need to be there.
Stations are silent today. This is Earth, 3rd planet of the solar system. This is an emergency. Does anyone know which galaxy we're in?
Anyway, there's it.
That wouldn't mean much for the little green man.
You can just sit there for minutes and listen to them talk.
What's the occasion? Driver's Day again?
My son said his first word.
Congratulations. Was it Mama or Papa?
Neither. It was fire!
A little soldier, just like you.
Yeah, just like me. You know, ever since that time the vampires came pouring out of the side tunnel, I dream of them every night. There I am, commanding my squad. But their guns are down, and everybody's drunk. These walking corpses are attacking, and I'm screaming, "Open fire, you bitches! Open fire! Fire!" My men can't hear me. They wake up soaked in sweat, and my wife and kid are crying.
Let's have a drink.
Okay, he said vampires, but what he means is Nasalises. Excuse me. I'm still a little stuffy from being sick.
Survivors in St. Petersburg. Some of the metro stations are even deeper than ours. I went there once when I was young. There were these huge iron gates that would open when the train arrived, along with the train's doors. I later learned that during the construction of the same track, half the men on his team were eaten by something. All they found were tools and bare bones. This was covered up, of course, but they did install those iron gates just to be safe. I can't imagine what the radiation did there.
Damn. Anyhow, that guy was talking about vampires. Vampires is another word for Nosalis. Another word for Nosalis is also undead, because Nosalis is Russian, I believe, and it translates into vampire or ghoul. So that's why he said vampire, because he's just talking about the Russian reference. Take a tip of another waitress. In the original Metro game, there is a hookah thing here you can smoke and get high off of, but in Redux you can just drink with this guy. Ugh. You're not... well, I'll take what I can get. Goop. Lightweight. Whoa, I went a little faster there. Whoa. Kalashnikov lore.
He was very happy to know that our borders were being kept safe in his help. If I'd invented that thing, I'd go mad. Imagine that your invention was the #1 murder tool in the world. Worse than being the doctor who invented the guillotine.
Actually, Kalashnikov was disappointed that his weapon was used to cause a lot of harm. He really intended it just to defend his country, and that's all he wanted. But then they, ended up being so good, everyone wanted them, and he kind of lived, I think, his last years with guilt over his invention. There's blood on your station, sir. Excuse me for not talking. There's so much dialogue between the NPCs in this chapter. I don't want to talk over it because, I mean, the Metro has such life in it and interesting stories and shit like that. I don't want to interrupt that because, it's just so immersive. It's a very immersive game. Filters. Seems like the stalkers never talk about anything else. And they keep droning about filters being all but unobtainable now. Not just the unused, but even adequately refitted. That the refitted, being the bastards that they are, don't put enough coal into them. And that you have to reach for a new one as soon as you finish attaching the previous to your mask. But whatever they say about the filters, stalkers value them more than the bullets. No wonder that, too. You might sneak by on the surface without ever being found out by the mutants, but there's no escaping the poisoned air.
Quiet and empty. There are no side branches, nowhere to get lost.
That was both notes.
Someone who's heard how nice and safe that tunnel is decides to go there alone and vanishes like a ghost.
Dun dun dun. Okay, now Bourbon told us to go get some filters. Filters. After the war, all the available filters were used up and refitted many times over, and now are only good for some 5 minutes of breathing. Even so, the traders charge more and more for each subsequent one. Now, excuse me. Because this is hardcore, it starts out at 30 bucks, whereas on normal and lower difficulties, it starts out at 20 and 10. Now, note, I'm going to buy a filter. Now, the price just went up by double, because they are rare, so after each purchase, the price goes up and up and up. And because this is hardcore, it's gonna keep doing that and be more expensive. So, yeah, don't go blowing all your military grade rounds on filters, unless you really want to. Now let me see. Whole Metro. Now, I'll buy some shotgun rounds, but, most of the time I scrounge yes, thank you. And, most of the time I scrounge up my ammo from corpses.
I already bought you one last week. Please, Mama, I'll just play with it and then I'll let it go. You've got your teddy bear to play with. Quit wasting food.
I would think rats would be used more for food than as pets. But hey, whatever floats your boat. Okay, Bourbon is right here.
Well, I made an arrangement with the guy here.
Nice.
He's a greedy asshole, but we can't do anything about that.
Yes.
Great. Let's go then. I think you already know the way.
I do know DB. And I think these are developers. Don't quote me on that, but I figure. There was a red key here. And over here, if we go into the back of this train... Oh, this is entertaining.
They get caught by the mutants, and the mutants eat the kids' brains, and those kids become mutants too. So when you see your friend, he comes closer, and then roar, your brain gets eaten.
Damn.
I know, 'cause Papa is a scout. He's really strong, even stronger than Uncle. He's on a mission now. Wow, cool.
Cool. Anyhow, there is a safe over in the back here you can use that key for. Pretty easy to find. And we got a copy of Metro 33 and some cartridges. 24 cartridges. And that kind of, I think, replenishes the cash I spent on those filters. Somewhat. Okay, now we can just accompany Bourbon to where he needs to go. Go ahead. Let's go.
Bourbon?
Bourbon?
As if you don't know.
Go fuck and get out.
I've already paid Mike.
You didn't pay me. But if you don't want to go through...
Shit. A pleasure doing business with you.
All right. Just kidding.
Notice he has the two pistols on his side.
The gate's opening! Are you sure, Commander? Cover me! I hate this so much.
They're opening a door, man, and you gotta, you know, make sure nothing gets through. That's it. Your job's pretty simple. You have a damn big ass. I don't think that's 50 cal. I'm not very good with the bigger calibers. Okay. Here we go. Spasiba. I guess that's how you say thanks in Russian. Run!
Move it, kid.
He cheesed him.
When we emerged into the ruins of Moscow, I felt both fear and sorrow. But after a life underground, I also saw strange beauty in the dark skies and frozen landscape. So that's the dead city, grunted Bourbon. Welcome home, Artyom.
Okay, so the next chapter is going to be a long one, so I am going to end it here. I know this was a short part, a lot shorter than the last part, I know, but the next part is a long one, so I don't want to, you know, be dragging on too much. Because so far I've kept this segmented pretty good into the chapters. So I'm going to end it here. If you like this video, just leave a like. If you really like this video, subscribe. If you really like this video, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can know whenever we post. I am MegaMuffin37. This is the Metro 2033 Redux Edition. And have a good one, people.
I'm